Okay, well, good morning everybody, and welcome to another video update brought to you by EduTrader on behalf of Serene Education. I'm going to be looking at the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, as this is the pair that I've been blogging since last week with regards to the channel formation that we've been having at the end of this trend. As most of us know, the general trend on this particular pair is in an upward trend, if we can all agree on that. And looking at the hard right edge, which is this area here, is where we can only make money. We can see a formation. If we just look a little bit back, we can see a formation happening on this one, which was the channel formation, which I was telling everybody about last week. Now, there was a lot of, how can I say, discrepancies between different traders, because a lot of traders were saying it was a triple top, a lot of them were saying it was an ABC move, and then break up to the upside. A lot of them were saying it was either a triple top, and then obviously I was saying it was a channel. Now, we as traders, we obviously go by what we see and what we know and what we've been taught. So for me, a triple top would work, or a channel would work. The ABC, I'm not too familiar with that particular setup, so I won't actually talk too much about the ABC. But for me, this was a channel formation that I saw, and I traded it on that particular instinct, because having a look at the movements between the range, if you draw a parallel line on each side, it does form a range between the two lines, and that's what we call a channel. Now, as a lot of you guys would know, last week my entry point was just below this particular candle over here, due to this indecision that was happening over the previous 3 days, and then we had a large engulfing candle. And if you remember correctly, one of the things that I was concerned about was that if you look at last time we had this large engulfing candle, we had a nice run to the upside, and then we had the basic how can I say, indecision, and then we had another downward trend again. And as you can see, the next day it did kind of look like it would start repeating this move again, but then we had an indecision candle, and then obviously we had this large engulfing candle again to the downside, and so we've just had it trending down. One of the things that I'm kind of worried about with this particular pair at the moment is that it is coming to a 50 EMA, which can act as a support line. As you can see, it hasn't been too far away from the 50 EMA, but it has been in that area, and used that as a general or strong area of support, even though it hasn't touched that area. And if you look at it, if you draw another trend line, you will find that this particular pair is kind of on a support area as it is at the moment. So could we be looking for a bounce to the upside again, as some traders would say, a ABC move, which is happening an A point, B point, and then a C point there? Or could this just be a area of breather for this particular pair at the moment before it breaks through? I don't know. Only time will tell. Like all trades that we take, we have to obviously be patient in watching charts, and we have to look at the fundamentals and actually see what's going on around us. As we all know, the Australian pair, the British pair or cable, or even the euro versus the US dollar has been in a general upward trend. A lot of people are saying that the pairs are kind of coming to a point where they need to start rolling over again, maybe do a 50% retracement, or just do some sort of change of direction. I feel that this particular pair might be in its trend to the downside. As we can see, one of the indicators that I do use is now indicating that there might be a potential sell position happening here, maybe to the downside. We might be able to cash in some points further on down. Or are we just having a false entry, as we can see over here? We had a nice sell signal there again, and then we just plotted along sideways, and then it took off, and then we had this nice rally to the upside. So things are definitely moving with the Australian pair. For how long, I don't know, whether it's just a brief breather before it takes off again, or whether it's just a general trend to the downside again, and cashing in on the ride to the downside. One of the things that I will look at is that obviously with the American market, they have said that they might be introducing a second consensus, in the sense that if you remember, we had that, or the Americans had that couple of $100 billion injected into the economy to boost the economy or to start the economy again. There's a lot of feeling going around that ain't working, so they might be bringing a second one. Whether that will actually determine whether this pair goes up or down, in the sense that either it will strengthen the dollar or it will weaken the dollar, I don't know, but only time will tell. And obviously they first have to introduce that before we can actually take on a decision or take that on board. So those are things that we need to look at. Otherwise, on this particular pair, it is generally an upward trend. I will say to you that this particular channel is coming to an end. If it were to break and close below this, then obviously I'd look for a channel breakout. If it does bounce off this area and does turn around and try to break through the channel to the upside, I know I have locked in some profit, so I know that I won't lose on this trade. I'll actually be making something, so I'm pretty happy at the moment on this particular trade. Otherwise, that's all for me. I'd like to say thanks very much, and I'll speak to you again.